This video will provide you with further examples of how to use University Classification System, or UCLASS, to organize the records in your office. We recommend that you first see the video on Introduction to Information Management Tools, UCLASS. The University Classification System is found on the University Archives website under the Information Management tab, and then click on the University Classification System tab. Let's look at some examples, remembering the 3 steps to classification. 1. Choose a block or function. 2. Choose a primary or activity. 3. Create a meaningful name for your secondary file folder. Where would you classify records on information sessions to welcome new students to the university? The first step would be to choose a block or function. When choosing a block, consider the main function represented in the record you are classifying. In the case of sessions held to welcome new students to the university, the AC operations block doesn't seem to apply, as these records relate to welcoming students prior to the academic year, and not to things like curriculum development and other academic operations. The CR community relations block may also look inviting, but the records you have are specific to a student-related event, not to things like alumni and Senate activities. It's the last block, or ST, Student Services, that seems like the best fit. To confirm that this block is accurate, click on the link and check the description of the block at the top of the page. This block does include activities related to student orientation and recruitment, so you're in the correct place. The second step is to choose a primary. This is a list of primaries for ST, Student Services. As you scan down the list of primaries for the ST Student Services block, the primary ST 685, Student Orientation and Advising, represents the activity accurately. The last step is to create a secondary. It's important to note that the name of the file or electronic folder should be meaningful. Remember that other people may need access to these records. In this case, if you're creating an electronic folder, you could call the folder ST685 New Student Information Sessions. Each document within the folder could then be filed by year. Here's a second example. Where do you file records on the creation of your department's or unit's budget? Remember, the first step is to choose a block or function. In this case, the financial aspect of the budget planning cycle appears to fit best with the FM, Financial Management block. If you read the description of the block at the top of the page, it does look like you're in the right place. The second step is to choose a primary or activity. As you scan down the list of primaries for the FM Financial Management block, the primary FM 200, Budget Development, seems to represent the activity correctly. The last step is to create a secondary. Remember to make the name of the file or electronic folder a meaningful one. In this case, you could choose Budget 2013 or 5-Year Budget Planning Cycle 2012 to 2017. Here's a third example. Where do you file instructions for administering the Universal Student Ratings of Instruction, or USRIs? Again, your first step is to choose a block or function that best represents the record. The Universal Student Ratings of Instruction are completed by students, but don't really fit under the ST Student Services block, which is for activities related to student programs and services, student recruitment, and so on. USRIs are often referred to during a faculty member's review process, but again, the function of HR, Human Resources, isn't the right fit either. HR, Human Resources, covers activities related to the employment history of employees, not evaluation of instruction. Rather, USRIs has an academic function first and foremost, as it informs the teaching of courses and programs. So AC, Academic Operations block, seems the best fit. If you read the description of the block at the top of the page, it confirms that you are in the right place, as the description includes evaluation of instruction. The second step is to choose a primary or activity. As you scan down the list of primaries for the AC Academic Operations block, the primary AC 230, Evaluation of Instruction, seems to represent the activity accurately. As an added bonus, there is a link to the retention rule governing these types of records, so that even before you file the records, you will know when you should be destroying them in the future. The last step to classifying records is to create a secondary, and to create a physical file or an electronic folder to store the record. Remember to make the name meaningful. Here's a last example. You want to file records relating to the development of the space allocation policy. Again, your first step is to choose a block or function that best represents the record. In this case, the creation of university-wide policies is part of the overall high-level governance of the university. So go to the GV governance block. If you read the description of the block at the top of the page, it does look like you're in the right place. The second step is to choose a primary or activity. As you scan down the list of primaries for the GV governance block, the primary GV 575 policy coordination seems tailor-made to fit these records. However, as you read the description of the primary to confirm that this is the correct primary to file these records under, you notice a line for cross-reference. The cross-reference is stating that you can also check the primaries that represent the activity outlined in that policy. You could decide to file the space allocation policy in the GV 575 policy coordination primary, and then be consistent by filing all other records relating to policies under this same primary. Or you could decide to file the policies under the primary or activity that they specifically relate to, in this case, space allocation. This policy is related to the assignment of interior space in the campus's buildings, which are part of the major capital assets of the university. Click on the CA Capital Assets block to confirm that this is a good choice. Perhaps you decide to file these records under the CA block. The next step is to choose a primary. As you scan down the list of primaries for the CA Capital Assets block, you can see that CA 650 for Space Management is a perfect fit for your records. The last step to classifying your records is to create a secondary. Make sure that the file or electronic folder has a meaningful name. If you have questions on other topics, please view our other videos. Or if you have specific questions and comments, please contact us at uarc@ucalgary.ca. Hopefully this video has helped, and thanks for watching.